when I get up the next time. So welcome everybody, welcome to class. Happy New Year. I think it starts tonight, right? For all of those of you who celebrate New Year. I think it's so great you get 2 New Years. I think it's wonderful. And this time of year is like a new beginning, isn't it? And you know, with the election coming up, I think it's going to be a good thing, a good time for change, and we need that. So as I've been encouraging everyone, make sure to register to vote, plan your vote, track your vote, make sure that your voice is heard this coming November. The yoga word for today is samskara, and it means the deep impressions that we have from throughout our lives. So obviously we think of the deep impressions like the negative things that have happened to us, something that someone said to us that really hurt us, and but also it's positive impressions. It can be positive impressions, things that really that happened to us that were really pleasurable, or things that happened to us that were really negative. Those are called samskaras in yoga philosophy. And what happens is that we start to cling. We start to get attached to all of those positive impressions, right? And we keep wanting to recreate them over and over and over again. And this is the basis for addiction, isn't it? Because we just keep going back to that same old, we want that same old pleasure back and back again. So that's called clinging. That's called attachment in yoga. And we don't want that. We don't want to cling. We don't want to be attached. It's you enjoy it and then you let it go, but you're not clinging to it and wanting it to keep coming again and again and again. And on the other side, you have the negative impressions, the painful impressions, and those ones we resist. We don't want them to ever come back. And in that resistance, there is, they keep coming back, because have you ever heard the term, what you resist persists? There's great truth in that phrase, because we keep resisting it, but it keeps returning. So until we don't have any charge with it, until we can let what's painful come, it comes, you have to feel it. It's a feeling, it's not going to kill you, it's a feeling, and it will go. The same with the pleasure, you have to let it come and you have to let it go. And understanding who you are is that which is aware of the pleasurable feeling and of the unpleasurable feeling. You, as that awareness, are not touched by the pleasure or the pain. You're free of both. So they're like clouds in the sky. So you have to understand yourself more as the unbounded, clear, open, free sky, and pleasurable things come as beautiful white clouds, and painful things come as stormy dark clouds. But you don't get attached to the puffy white clouds, and you don't resist the dark, stormy clouds. You just let them come and you let them go. This is so much the heart of yoga. Please switch the cross of your legs. Cross your shins at the very center. Soften the feet. And spread the backs of your thighs and pull the buttocks flesh back. Bring your hands onto your thighs and then start to lift up through the sides of your trunk. But to help you with that, bring your arms out. Turn your arms outwards so that your fingernails are going backwards, and bring your fingernails either onto the floor behind you, or I'm putting my hands right on the corners of the blankets. That's it. So I can really get that opening to come in my top chest. Make sure as you do that that you're not throwing the abdomen forward. Lift the abdomen up. Bring the tailbone slightly forward. Keep drawing the outer hips down. And bring the back of your head in line with your sacrum. Bring your outer shoulders back. Have a slight bend of the elbows so you can feel that the shoulder blades are moving into the back ribs. Bring your hands to your heart center. Lift your breastbone upwards. And then close your eyes downwards, remove any glasses, and go inside. With your chest lifting well, Draw your senses in and towards your heart center. As you take deeper inhalations, inhale all the way up into your chest. And as you exhale, flow your head center down into your heart center. So you're residing right in the center of your chest. Relax the jaw, the tongue, the throat. Find a quietness to your eyes, a depth to your ears. Let go of anything that's pulling your attention elsewhere. Be quiet, be still, be open. And please join me for 3 ohms. Now raise your chest upwards, bow your head downwards, and reaffirm your intention to be healthy, to be well in your body, in your mind, in your mood, and to allow everything in life to be your teacher, whatever it is. Let it help you awaken. Release your hands down to your thighs with your palms upwards. Raise your head, and then slowly open up your eyes. Good. Okay, now stretch out your legs. Okay, we're going to start today. Some of you, well, you'll have to see what props you have to work with. So I'm going to show a couple different things. If you have a bolster, get a bolster. And also have a blanket for your head. So I'll show you the classic pose, and then I'll show you some variations. This is a pose called Supta Virasana, so the reclining hero's pose. If you know it, go ahead into it. I am taking some support. If you know that you can go lower than a bolster, that's fine. But watch what I do. Let me just show you the classic pose. If you know it, go ahead into it, because that will give you longer in the pose. But watch how I'm sitting in front of the bolster, and you can have padding under your shins, of course. I move my calf muscles out to the sides, and I create space around the knee joints, and then I go back over the bolster. It can be rolled towels, anything you have around, and I have also a blanket under my head. So this is the classic position. Like I said, if you can go lower than a bolster, maybe onto a folded blanket, that's fine. Now, if that's not possible for you, then what you have to do is you have to build, you have to sit on something, you have to sit on a brick in front of this, sit and then build this higher. So you have to put props on top of this, blankets, 2 or 3 more blankets like this on top, and then you can also have a blanket for your head. So basically the rule is if you have 1 brick, then you need 2 bolsters. Or so those folded blankets are becoming a bolster. So this would be if you have to sit on a brick. If you need some height, then you can do this. Okay, so this also is great. If you can do that, that's great. Now, if none of those are working for you, then I just want you to sit in front of your bolster or sit even with no bolster. It doesn't matter, you can even be on your back. Just sit with your legs crossed this way, and you go back over the bolster with your legs crossed. And then you can, of course, have a blanket for your head there. You can have a folded blanket. I like to use a tri-folded blanket for the head. So if none of those, I gave 3 options, right? 1 without support under the hips, 1 with support under the hips, and higher support under the spine. And then now this is with no support. And if you don't have a bolster, you can use a folded blanket instead, or you can just lie flat on the back. And then once you have your pose, make sure that your lower back is happy, especially those of you in Supta Virasana. Make sure that your knees are happy. Your knees are happy, yes. And your thighs should be parallel, or the inner thighs can be close together, but don't force them together. But make sure that your knees don't start to spread apart. They don't have to be all the way together, but make sure that they're not spread apart. And then lengthen the buttocks flesh towards the backs of the knees, and then pull the abdomen upwards. So the navel lifts up away from the pubic bone, and you should feel some lengthening on the quadriceps if you're in Supta Virasana, and on the abdomen. If you're in Supta Svastikasana, you might feel some lengthening on the inner thighs. But everyone, let's lengthen the sides of the trunk even more. So lift up your arms alongside your ears, inhaling. Get as long as you can. Just turn your palms to face each other. If there's no room for you, just immediately go to holding your elbows, because we're all going to do that in a moment. Once we maximize that length, then hold your elbows. Hold your elbows. Yes, and go back. And as you pull the forearms down, bring the shoulder blades up into the back. Keep relaxing tension in your jaw, tension in your tongue, flowing your head to your heart, letting go of distractions. Good. Now, those of you who are crossing your legs, please switch the cross of your legs. Switch the cross of your legs without disturbing yourself too much. And then everybody switch the cross of your arms. And keep pulling the elbows back to lengthen the sides of the trunk. Lengthen the sides of your ribs. Keep lifting the navel up away from the pubis. Bring your tailbone upwards towards the ceiling. Let your head rest on the pillow, deepening the breath. Supta Virasana. So it's classically a restorative pose, but it's a challenging pose as well. It's also a great pose to help open up the front of the body, the quadriceps, the abdominal fascia. It's great. It also helps open up the chest, frees the breath. It's a great, great pose to have in your cabinet of poses. Okay, now extend your arms again, inhaling, extend your arms if there's room, and then as you exhale, bring your arms back alongside your body. Press your palms flat, lead with your chest to come up so your head stays back a little bit. That's it, good. Okay, and then lift up your hips, and then whatever you have, if you were sitting on something, just take it away, and then swing your legs around, and sit in Dandasana, with your legs fully extended. So now you can really release the backs of the knees. If you have any lower back issues, sit up on your bolster or sit up on a brick so that you have a little bit of elevation in your pelvis there. Make sure that your knees are going straight upwards, the kneecaps, and press the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Spread your toes. All the toes are going straight upwards as well. Very good. And now release, and we'll take downward facing dog pose, downward dog, and take it wide. So hold on to the outer edges of your sticky mat with your hands and take your feet as wide as the sticky mat. So it's a decentralized downward facing dog pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And as you stretch the sticky mat forward, pull your arms up into the torso, into the shoulders. Press your feet down, pull your legs up into your hips. Inhale, as you exhale, move your outer thighs back away from the hands. Move the outer thighs back. Keep moving the tops of your thighs also back away from your hands. Yes. Inhale again. As you exhale, move the back of your body into the front of the body. So move the shoulder blades into the back ribs. As you do that, keep turning the tops of your arms outwards. Yes. And exhaling. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Very good. Now come down into child's pose, big toes touching, knees apart. Knees apart. Okay, and thanks for letting me know that. Both of those poses are fine. These are both fine for you. Okay, so rest there. Marcia, you know to take this one if the knees bother you. I'm not sure if Marcia's here, but you'll take this one. Okay, so now come and watch. We're going to do that dynamically. So now you don't have to have your feet apart. You can just have your feet, you don't have to have the feet as wide as the mat. So I come from Adho Mukha Virasana, and I'm connecting now with my breath. And then I'm inhaling up onto my hands and my knees, Chaturanga, and I'm rolling my toes under, and I'm exhaling into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then I just go back, inhaling onto my hands and knees, Chaturanga, exhaling, Adho Mukha Virasana. So let's do that together. So come on to into Adho Mukha Virasana, child's pose. That's it. And then inhale up onto your hands and your knees. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Roll the toes under. That's the way. Good. And then inhale, hands and knees, Chaturanga, and then exhale, child's pose, Adho Mukha Virasana. That's the way. Inhale, hands and knees, Chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. That's the way. Inhale, hands and knees, exhale, Adho Mukha Virasana. Just getting some warmth in the body. And then continue a few more on your own, 2 or 3 more on your own. Just connect your mind to your breath, and as such, surrender yourself to this golden present moment. And then once you finish those, just rest in child's pose. Okay, and then come on up. Let's do Uttanasana. So take your feet as wide as the sticky mat. Place your hands about 12 inches in front of you, right under the shoulders, and lift your chest and look forward. Lift the chest and look forward. So this is Ardha Uttanasana. If you need blocks under your hands, please take that. And if the blocks feel too low, put your hands onto the wall at the level of your waistline. Otherwise, make sure that your hips are right over the ankles. Pull up through your legs. Press your hands down and pull your chest through the arms. And then as you exhale, take your right hand out to the side in line with your right shoulder. Take your left hand and then bend your elbows and release your head downwards. Keep pressing down through the space between the big toe and the second toe. Pull upwards through your inner legs all the way to your groins. Release the head down. Take the hands wide apart. Wider than the feet, wider than the mat. Bend your elbows out to the sides. So there's Uttanasana with the head up, Urdhva Mukha, and there's Uttanasana with the head down, Adho Mukha. So head down, that's it, good. Draw the outer knees up into the outer hips. As you exhale, make the abdomen soft, even as the very back of the abdomen comes back. Release the sides of your ribs down. With anything with the abdomen today, Natalie, go very gentle when you're on the cycle like that. Good, now come back to Ardha Uttanasana. Place your hands about 12 inches in front of the feet, directly under the shoulders, straighten the legs. Move your back ribs into the front ribs, even if you have to come up the fingertips and blocks. Good, now bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and up you come. Great. Okay, let's come to the center of the mat and we'll do some shoulder opening work. So stand with your feet hip distance apart. Turn this upwards. If you can organize it so that you can face the camera, that's always ideal, but no worries if that's not a possibility. And you might need a belt handy, so make sure the belt is somewhere reachable, because you might need a belt because we will do our shoulder opener. So just stand with your feet about 2 or 3 inches apart. Make the inner edges of your feet parallel to each other. That's it. And bring your body weight back into your heels. Move your thighs back. Draw your outer hips inwards. And then lift up through your breastbone. Bring the back of your head back in line with your sacrum. And especially for today, now turn your palms forwards and then turn your palms all the way outwards. And feel how the shoulder blades, they press into the back ribs with your arms externally rotating in this way. So keep that, maintain that, making sure that the abdomen isn't coming forward. And then just from your elbow down to your wrist, turn your forearms inwards. That's Tadasana. Very good. Now raise your arms upwards for Urdhva Hastasana. Keep pressing down through the fronts of the heels. Keep your body weight back. That's it. Reach up beyond your fingertips. Hold on to your left wrist with your right hand, and then take a side bend over to the right side. So you're opening. Make sure the feet are a little bit apart, about 2 or 3 inches apart. That's it. So you have a spacious Tadasana. And then come back to the center. Hold on to the right wrist. Pull it upwards, and then exhale over to the left side. Just open up. Make sure the head doesn't go down. Press the feet down, heels down. Reach through that right fingertips, and then reach, come back up, and come back to Urdhva Hastasana. Turn your palms outwards, bring your arms out to the sides and down. Very good. Now bring your arms back up this way. Keep reaching your right arm to the right, your left arm to the left. And as you move your back upper neck muscles down, flow them down away from the occipital bone of your skull. Turn your arms out. Turn the upper arm bones out. That's it. And then bring your arms back up. Go all the way up with your arms. And then interlace your fingers above you. Turn your palms upwards. Make your arms fully extended. So press down through the fronts of the heels, and then reach up through your wrists and the heels of your hands. Keep the back of your head in line with your sacrum. Extend the sides of your trunk even more. And then bring your arms out to the sides. That's it. Keep reaching. And again, flow the back upper neck muscles down as you externally rotate the tops of the arms, and then bring the arms back up. Go all the way up. And then interlace your fingers again, the less habitual way, the awkward interlace. Press the heels down. Reach the wrists upwards. Move the shoulder blades into the back ribs. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Good. And then bring your arms out to the sides and all the way down. Now lock your thumbs above you, or behind you rather, and pull on your thumbs so that your outer shoulders go back, but keep the top of the shoulder blades broadening. Don't just squeeze the shoulder blades together. Even though the outer shoulders are going back, the top of the shoulder blades broaden. The outer shoulder blades move to the inner shoulder blades, and the bottom shoulder blades move deeper in. And then maintain that as you switch the cross of the thumbs. Keep your head back, don't let your head come forward. So as your hands move back, move your hands further back, move your thighs back, move your head back, but bring your tailbone forward and lift your abdomen upwards. That's it. So you feel that confidence of engaging the back of the body to open up the front of the body. And then come back to Tadasana with your feet slightly apart. Good. Now you can join your feet all the way together. Join your feet together and come to classic pose. So extend down through your arms, roll your shoulders back. Okay, now this is where you might need a belt. So get a belt if you need to for Gomukhasana arms. So again, stand with your feet a little bit apart, and we'll take Gomukhasana arms. The right arm comes up, and the left arm goes back, and the left arm goes up. So take Gomukhasana arms. Move the thighs back, move this right shoulder back. Move your head back. Make sure that both sides of your trunk stay even. Relax your eyes and your jaw. Maybe you can get some more fingers. Move the dorsal spine in. Move your head back. And then switch. Settle your body weight back into your heels. Roll the left shoulder back. See that the left side of your trunk is the same length as the right side. Move your head back and bring your dorsal spine deeper in without pushing the abdomen forward. Gomukhasana arms. Very good. And then release. Garudasana arms. So bring your arms out to the sides. Bring your right arm over your left arm. Intertwine your arms so that the little finger sides of your hands are going forward. If this isn't happening, just do half. Just do half with your arm in this way. Otherwise, you can do this. So lift your elbows upwards, move your hands forward, keep the back upper neck muscles moving down, and then spread your arms. This is eagle arms, right? And then bring your left arm over your right arm, intertwine the arms. Lift the elbows upwards, move the hands forwards. Keep flowing the back upper neck muscles down. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue and your throat. And then spread your arms out to the sides. Turn both of your thumbs downwards and bring your hands into Paschimottanasana Namaskarasana. So if that's not happening, maybe you can push your two fists into each other. Can you push your two fists into each other? If that's not happening, hold on to one of your wrists. Hold on to one of the wrists. And then everybody get your hands higher up the back. That's it. Make sure that your shoulders are moving back. So the shoulders move back, not so much the elbows. When the elbows move back, the shoulders actually come forward. So keep the shoulders back. That's it. Keep the abdomen back. Press down through your heels. Those of you holding the wrists, switch the cross of the wrists. Roll the shoulders back. Keep the back of your head back. And now push your hands into your back. Push your index and thumb knuckle together into each other. Bring your outer shoulders back. Again, spread across the top of the shoulder blades. Bring the outer shoulder blades to the inner shoulder blades and the bottom shoulder blades forwards without pushing the abdomen. And then without shaking, slowly release your arms and extend your arms downwards. Join again your feet together into Tadasana. That's it. So extend your arms down. Roll the shoulders back. Bring your back of your head back. Excellent. Very good. Now, we're going to do another version of a downward dog. So I'll show over here. But you're going to use slanted blocks. Okay, so you might have to get closer to the camera to see what I'm going to ask you to do. Okay, so you have slanted blocks. So I'll show over here. So your blocks will be slanted. See how they'll be slanted at the wall. So I'm just going to use these wooden blocks, but I know most of you have the foam blocks. So the blocks are slanted like this. And they're a little bit wider than the sticky mat. Because when I come up, I want to have my hands on those blocks with my fingers going outwards. But I want my inner wrist and my inner elbows and my inner shoulder all in a straight line. So that's what it would look like with my hands on the blocks. I'll show from this side. So I have my hands on the blocks. Make sure that they're sturdy. If they're slipping, you can always make a lip. You can always make a little lip with your sticky mat that way. That works really well if your blocks tend to slip. Otherwise, bring your hands onto the blocks and you're taking downward dog. And this is a great shoulder opener to get the top shoulder blades to move in. You also might find that your heels come down more easily. If you don't have that to work with, do this pose with your hands turned out at the wall. Do this with your hands turned out at the wall. Do it that way with your hands at the wall. Good. So make sure that your inner wrists are facing each other. Both of your arms are externally rotated. Press your hands into those bricks. Lock your elbows in without hyperextending the elbows. Nice. And bring your arms up. Keep your inner elbows lifting. For some of us, the elbows drop. So keep the inner elbows lifting. That's good, Natalie. That's it. Good. And then move the top of your shoulder blades deeper into the very top of your back body so that your chest moves back towards your legs. That's it. Move the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. And reach the calf muscles down and drive your heels into the floor. Very good. Now when you come down to rest in child's pose. Keep your hands on the blocks, but just turn your fingertips upwards. Turn your fingertips upwards and rest in child's pose. That's the way. But you feel that underside of your arm lifting. That's what you always want to feel in child's pose and downward dog. The underside of your arm lifts upwards. Very good. Now we'll do one more variation like that. Now bring your blocks all the way together. Bring your blocks all the way together this way so that you basically have one block. And now you're going to do downward dog, but now your middle fingers are touching. Your middle fingers are touching together. Yeah, so you have pigeon-toed hands. Beautiful. And then go into downward dog that way. So now you can also do this at the wall if you don't have any box or a wall to work with. This works with all these are great shoulder openers. You know, eventually we do handstand in all of these different variations. These are preparations because in the intermediate classes, we do handstand in all of these different hand positions. So press your hands down, just notice the difference between internally rotating your upper arms and externally rotating. Move the shoulder blades into the back, press your heels down, deepen your breath. Keep the elbows lifting, squeezing the outer upper arms in. In this position, you have to work more to keep the arms straight. The arms want to naturally bend. And then when you're done, come again and rest in that child's pose with your fingertips going upwards. That's it. Good. Big toes are touching, knees apart, hips back. Okay. And then, Natalie, you can do one of those again, whichever one felt best for you. Do one of those again. Everybody else, come and watch. So you'll do half full arm balance. Okay, so you'll have your hands, you're in an L shape this way. A little bit away from the wall, you can judge it. You can turn the hands out about 45 degrees. Some of you can be closer, some of you further. And if you're newer to the pose, of course, walk your feet upwards and then see if you can get your feet down, but not lower than the hips. Straight in the arms. And move the chest back. Okay, so do half handstand. Yes. Very good, Heidi, great. Straighten the arms, turn the tops of the arms out, and really get the connection. Have the brain of the pose be in the shoulder blades. So adhere the shoulder blades into your back ribs, lift the back ribs up, keep your abdomen back, and lift your thighs up. That's the way. Good. Excellent, you guys. And then come down again, rest in child's pose. Good. Now we'll do that one more time. Some of you can do full arm balance. If you have full arm balance, you can do full arm balance. If you have full arm balance, go ahead up into full arm balance. And Natalie, if you'd rather just rest in child's pose, that's fine. You can put a bolster here in front of you. Have a bolster here in front of you. Rest in child's pose if that's enough of downward dog. So you can rest like this, or you can have a pillow for the head. Take support for supported child's pose. Yeah, that's it. Good. Otherwise, you're doing full or half. Nice. Straighten the arms. Turn the tops of the arms out. Bring the shoulder blades into the back ribs. Nice. Relax your head. Lift the abdomen up. Lift the heel. Beautiful, Jackie. That's great. Scrub those heels up the wall. Straighten those arms. Nice. Very good job. Lift the buttocks upwards. Excellent. Okay, and then everybody come down, and Natalie, feel free to stay there, but everybody, we're going to rest in an angular uttanasana. So have your buttocks against a wall and have your feet about 1.5 feet away from the wall. Take your feet at least as wide as your hips, but maybe even as wide as the mat, right? And then it's almost like a sitting posture, like you're sitting against the wall. As you come forward, bring your hands down, release your hands. If you can't reach, of course, just put your hands on the legs. Okay, stiffer bodies, just bend your knees. Bend your knees. So Bob, just bend your knees and just work with your knees bent. Everybody else, straighten your legs and then hold your elbows. Hold your elbows. Yes, that's the way. So keep exhaling, pulling the sides of the trunk down. Good, you guys. You can work in your own time. That's great. And then switch the cross of the arms. Okay, and then bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and up you come out of the pose. Okay, let's do Trikonasana with your back left foot at a wall and your right hand on a high brick. So use a high brick for your hand, even if you don't need a brick. I want you to have that sense of support, okay? So bring your left foot to the wall. The outer edge of your left foot comes to the wall. Step your right leg wide. Lift up your right arm. Make sure that your right foot is all the way out under that hand. Turn your right leg all the way out. And then reach out and bring your right hand onto that high brick, maybe even on your fingertips. If that's still too low, of course, use a chair. Use a chair so you have something to put your right hand onto. Okay, now press your outer left foot bone into the wall and move your left thigh back. And you can see how this feels. If it feels better to do it with your foot at the wall, Natalie, that's fine. You could also do it with your whole back against the wall. That's even more supportive. You could have your back against the wall if that feels better. Otherwise, just the foot. So as you press down through the inner edge of your left foot, draw the right outer knee up into the right buttocks. And then bring your tailbone forward and then lift the front of your body up. Lift the front of your body. Lift it. From the tailbone, lift all the way up to the breastbone. Make that connection. Tailbone forward. Now as you roll your right shoulder back, connect your right shoulder blade into the back ribs. Roll your left shoulder back. Connect your left shoulder blade into the back ribs without pushing the abdomen. Bring the back of your head in line with your sacrum. That's it. Now extend your left arm up and keep reaching your arms away from each other. Bringing the shoulder blades in and bringing your tailbone forward. Tailbone forward. Outer left foot into the wall, inner right foot into the floor. Tailbone forward, shoulder blades in. That's the way. Now reach up with your left hand and press the wall with your left foot. Come up. Turn your right toes forward. Bring your legs back together, stepping or jumping, and we'll do the other side. So put your right foot against the wall and then step your left leg out. Lift up your left arm. Make sure that your left foot is all the way out under that left hand. And then keeping your right foot at the wall, turn your left leg all the way out. And then reach out and bring your left hand down to your brick. Just start with your right hand on the hip. Push the outer right foot bone into the wall. And pick up your right knee and move your outer right thigh back. Yes. Press the inner edge of your left foot down. Draw your outer left knee up into the left buttocks. And now everybody take a deeper inhalation. As you exhale, bring your tailbone forward and lift the whole front of the spine. So the front of the spine is elongating. Maintain that as you draw your left shoulder blade deeper into your back left ribs like we did for Gomukhasana. Draw the right shoulder blades into the back right ribs. That's it. Lift your breastbone. Reach down with your left arm and then reach up with your right arm and reach your arms away from each other. Make sure that your abdomen isn't pushing forward. That's it. The lower abdomen draws slightly back. The part of your abdomen that's actually behind your organs. That's what I mean by the lower abdomen. It's behind your organs. Spread your arms. You can look upwards as long as there's no neck sensitivity. But focus on the front of the body lifting, the tailbone in, the shoulder blades in. Press your outer right foot into the wall, reach up with your right hand, and come up out of the pose. Very nice. Just take a moment in Tadasana. Stand in Tadasana. Feel the effects of Utthita Trikonasana today. Okay, let's do Virabhadrasana 1. So have your left heel to the wall. Bring the left heel to the wall and step your right leg forward. And then what you can do, Natalie, is you can do this one instead. Have your right foot about 1 foot from the wall, step your left leg back and just walk your hands up the wall. So Natalie, do Parsvottanasana instead. Okay, otherwise everyone else is doing Virabhadrasana 1. Your left heel is at the wall, step your right leg out. And push that outer left heel into the wall. Bring your left hip forward. Draw your outer right hip back. Keep lifting your back ribs upwards and then bend your front knee to a square. Bend the front knee, get the front knee right over the ankle. As you bend the front knee, make sure that your abdomen isn't going forward towards the knee. Bring the lower abdomen back. Lift your back ribs up. And now bring your left ribs forward. Your left ribs. Bring your left ribs as far forward as your right ribs. Bring your left ribs as far forward as the right ribs and push the left heel into the wall strongly. Good. Now straighten the front knee. straighten it. We'll do that same side. Maybe take your arms out to the sides. Second stage, Vimanasana. So push the left heel into the wall. Inhale. Some of you can take a slightly longer distance, moving your right foot further forward. And now bend your front knee. That's it. Bend the front knee. That's it. Press that outer left heel into the wall. And bring your tailbone forward. Bring your abdomen back. Bring the tailbone forward. Nice, Bob. Lift your back ribs up and spread your arms outwards. See if you can bring your hips as low as the front knee. And then straighten the front knee. Bring your hands to the hips and we'll switch sides. So bring the right leg back and the left leg will come forward. Yeah. Natalie, you might be able to bring your front foot a little bit further away from the wall, maybe about a foot distance away from the wall. You can see. Having it really close is easier, but you can see. Yeah, that's it. So bring your right foot to the wall and step your left leg forward about 4 or 5 feet. Make sure that you have a heel to heel alignment. Bring your hands to the hips. Inhale. Keep pressing that right heel into the wall and then bend your front knee to a square. Bend your front knee. Press into the left heel, but push the right heel back into the wall. And you can allow the right heel to come up a little bit if that's necessary for your body. That's fine. Good. Now, once you have that, bring your tailbone forward and bring your right ribs as far forward as your left ribs. Bring your right ribs forward. That's it. Right ribs forward. That's it, Heidi. And move the shoulder blades into the back without dropping your back ribs. Lift your back ribs and don't let your abdomen go forward. Good. Now straighten the front knee. Stay there and then stretch your, maybe go out to the second stage. Bring your arms out to the sides. Inhale and then exhale, bend your front knee to a square. Press into the left heel, push the right heel into the wall. Keep the lower abdomen drawing back. Bring your tailbone forward. Bring your right ribs further forwards and move your shoulder blades into the back ribs. Excellent. And now straighten the front knee. That's it. And turn your left foot in. Bring your arms and your legs back together. Good. We'll just stay at the wall. Natalie, what you can do now is you can also have your left foot against the wall. But you can now, what you can do is once we go forward, you can just come down and you can either walk the hands forward like this, or you can bring the hands out to the sides. You can take Parsvottanasana with the head down, okay? Everybody else, bring your left heel to the wall, step your right leg forward. Heel to heel alignment of your feet. And then some of you can make a choice. So hands on the hips is of course the easiest. Arms out to the sides is the second easiest. But some of you can raise the arms upwards for the classic pose. You can see with the arms out. Good. But make sure that you have a wide enough distance. That's it. Good. And when we bend the knee, Natalie, you can come down. First get concave back. So start with the bricks right under the shoulders. That's it. Bring your back ribs into the front ribs. So either have your hands on the hips, arms out to the sides, or raise your arms all the way up. You can choose the arm variation. Bend your front knee to a square. Push that left heel into the wall. Bring your left hip forward. Bring your left ribs forward. Bring your lower abdomen back. Bring your tailbone forward. That's it. Reach up beyond the fingertips. Left ribs forward. Left ribs forward. Reach up beyond. Look up from your breastbone towards your fingertips. Good. And now straighten the front knee and release. Good. Okay, so you can go down over that leg now if you want to, Natalie. You just go down over the leg. There you go. Spend some time there, and then you can do the other side on your own. Okay, so bring your right foot to the wall and step your left leg forward for Virabhadrasana 1. Okay, left leg forward. So you're using the wall to push into, so you can get this right hip forward. Choose your arm variation, either hands to the hips or out to the sides or all the way up. You can choose the best one for you. So press that right foot into the wall and bring your right hip forward, bring your right ribs forward, and then keeping the abdomen drawing back, bend the front knee. Bend the front knee to a square. Get your left hip as low. Bring your tailbone forward. Get that whole front of your spine to lift. Bring your right ribs forward, right ribs forwards. Make sure that if you're looking upwards, you're looking from your chest, not just throwing the head back. That's it. Look upwards from the chest. Keep reaching up through the fingertips or moving out through the fingertips. Bob, that's super good. You can move your left foot further forward and then go down over that leg, Natalie. That's it. And now straighten the front knee and come on up, turn your left foot in, step or jump your legs back together. Great. Okay, again, stand in Tadasana, absorb the effects of Virabhadrasana 1, deepening your breath. And now we'll do Prasarita Padottanasana. So bring your heels lined up with the back edge of the mat. This is fine for you to do, Natalie, as well. So bring your heels lined up with the back edge of your mat. Take your feet out, take your arms out shoulder height, and then take your feet out under your hands. Have your heels wider than your toes. Bring your hands to the hips. Press your heels down, pull your kneecaps up. Now lift your chest up out of your pelvis, roll your shoulders back, look upwards, and then slowly come forwards. Bring your fingertips or palms down to the floor and bring your chest forward. Bring your back ribs into the front ribs. Pull your legs up into your hips. Keep your abdomen lifting and then stay here. Otherwise, bend your elbows backwards and bring your head down to the floor. Bring your head down to the floor or utilize a brick under your head. Bring your hands back in between your feet. Bob, you can also walk your hands forward if that feels better. Even with your hands on blocks, you can walk your hands forward as long as the hips don't come forward. That's it. Bring your hands back so that as if there was a line on your mat, your heels and the palms of your hands would all be in a straight line. So lift the shoulders upwards, relax the head down, bring more weight to the outer edges of your feet, but lift your inner ankles up, all the way up to your inner groins, spread the groins apart. Deepen your breath. Nice, Bob. Keep bringing those back ribs into the front ribs. Okay, now lift up your head, walk your hands forward, under the shoulders, shuffle the feet closer together, bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward and up you come. Okay, now those of you who do headstand, you can get ready for headstand. Okay, otherwise I'll show a preparation that I'd like you to work with today. Natalie, you're gonna take Supta Baddha Konasana. Take Supta Baddha Konasana, classic pose. So if you're not, go ahead up into your headstand. If you're not doing headstand, come and watch what I'm doing. So for this variation of headstand prep, I interlace my fingers and I bring my palms all the way together. So I'm not doing the classic position, right? My palms are all the way together. And then I organize my elbows right under my shoulders. Some of you, again, will be closer in towards the wall. Some of you will be further out. You can figure that out for your own body. So eyeball that the elbows are right under the shoulders. The head does not come down. We're not bringing the head down. This is a headstand preparation. So the outer wrist press, and then you roll the toes under. Maybe this is as far as you go, and you're just letting the head dangle. Otherwise, you walk your feet up the wall, and you're letting the head just dangle on away from the floor. Okay, so that's really teaches you to learn to lift the shoulders up. And then when you're done with that, you of course rest in child's pose and you repeat it. Good. Now, do you need that blanket under your pelvis there, Natalie? I'm not sure that you do. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yes, and have the bottoms of your feet together. So the bottoms of your feet together. And if you know how to do the belt around the sacral band, and then on the inner thighs and around the bottoms of the feet, you can do that belt. And then if you have restriction on the inner thighs, put blocks or blankets outside your outer thighs. Yeah. Good, Heidi. So Heidi, lift up through your inner left shoulder more. Those of you doing the headstand prep, you can rest, like I said, and then repeat it. And if you're finished with that, you can go into Supta Baddha Konasana. So keep lifting the inner shoulders up, and then Heidi, lean your left leg into your right leg. And make your left leg longer, so your left leg is as long as your right. That's the way, yes. So from what it looks like, the left leg is a little bit of a follower leg, right? It's being carried. So keep reaching up through that left leg, lengthen the left lower back as well. That's the way. So keep lifting your left leg and lean it a little bit into your right leg, and also the left inner shoulder. Lift that left inner shoulder up. Jackie, you have to lean, let me see, you're facing away from me, so I think you have to lean your left leg into the right leg. The left, that's the way, yes, left leg, there you go, very good. Very good, bring the tailbone in. Nice, Bob, very good. So keep leaning that left leg into the right leg for you, Jackie, and for you, Heidi, it's the same thing, left leg into the right leg, although it's improved. Very good. And then those of you doing headstand prep, I know it's a lot of work. So now just rest in child's pose. Okay, headstanders, prepare to come down out of the pose. Natalie, you can stay there. Keep your shoulders lifting and then start to come down out of your posture nice and slowly. So everybody's either resting in Adho Mukha Virasana, child's pose. The classic definition is downward facing hero's pose. Otherwise, be in Supta Baddha Konasana. So Natalie, you can just stay there for the next round of poses as well. Everybody else, come on up and let me show you what I'd like you to do. So we're just going to do, remember how earlier we did downward dog into child's pose? Now we're going to do downward dog into upward dog. Yeah, that's it. So you have the hands come into downward dog, and then I just come right into upward dog. Let's do the first two with the toes under. Okay, we'll do the first two with the toes under to really get the legs to lift. Make sure that your chest is coming in front of the arms. And then the second two, we'll point one foot and then the other foot. So we're in the classic pose. The shoulders are back, the hips are forward. Okay, and then you roll that same toe under and you go back into downward dog. Let's get ready. So come into downward dog. That's it. Turn the tops of your arms out, keep your toes under, and then come into upward facing dog. Upward dog. Yes, reach the calf muscles to the heels like you're pushing your heels into a wall. Nice, Heidi. Roll those shoulders back, burst your chest in front of your arms. Beautiful. And then go back into downward dog. Downward dog. Straighten the legs. Turn the tops of the arms out away from the sides of the neck. And then come again into upward facing dog. Upward dog. Excellent. Now point your right foot and then point your left foot. And now you're in the classic pose. That's it. Shoulders back, shoulder blades in, tailbone forward, front body lifting. Nice. And then back into downward dog. Curl your right toes under, left toes. Good. We'll do that one more time. Very good. Deepen your breath. So one more time. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Come forward. Maybe you can walk your feet a little bit closer in if it's coming well. Now point your left foot. Point your right foot. Keep your inner knees lifting. Bring your tailbone forward. That's it. Roll your shoulders back. Shoulder blades in. Beautiful, Heidi. That's great. And then roll the left toes under, right toes under. Go back into downward facing dog pose. Great. Okay, and then come down onto the knees, and we're going to do upward dog again, but now we're going to use some bricks. Okay, so watch what I have some blocks here, and you have to decipher whether the blocks that you have are appropriate for this. If they're really flimsy, they may not be that appropriate. So you have to see what's appropriate for you. But watch what I do. Because now, ideally, in this pose, your hands come much further back than we're used to. So notice where I'm bringing the heel of my hands on the front of the bricks. So the hands are just right on the front of the bricks. And then I bring my body down so that the bricks are right at my lower ribs. They're really far back. And then I adjust my legs and I move my buttocks towards my heels. and then I bring my shoulders back and I come forward and up into my pose. So now I'm in a deeper Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. It feels great in my back. So let's try that. I mean, it's challenging, but it feels good. Okay, so let's come onto your abdomen. And if you, yeah, I can't see everybody, so I'm just trusting that the bricks are far enough back. They should be all the way back here at the low ribs, your lower ribs. Yes, they're pretty far back. And the hands are on the front of the bricks. Good. Okay, and then once you're ready, point your feet, adjust your legs. Adjust your right leg, so come onto the middle of your right thigh. Come onto the middle of your left thigh, and then move your buttocks flesh back and bring your tailbone down. And then come up, upward dog. Your chest should be in front of your arms. Your chest should be way in front of the arms. Straighten the arms and look upwards. The looking upwards happens organically, doesn't it? Yes, good. Curl your fingers over those bricks, Bob. Very good. And then bend your arms and come down. Do you not have any bricks there, Jackie? Use bricks if you have them. They're too flimsy. They're only the soft ones. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just do it without. So come down. We'll do that one more time. Lie down on your abdomen. One last time. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. I know it's tempting to go into child's pose, but try not to go into child's pose until we're all finished with the backward bends. Natalie, you're good to go. You can always hold your elbows if you want a little bit more intensity. Otherwise, you look pretty comfortable. Okay, so get ready one more time. So come onto the center of your thighs, reach the toes backwards, bring the tailbone down, and then come up. Pull your chest forward and up. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Make those arms straight. Bring the back of the arm to the front of the arm. Tailbone forward. Bring the breastbone upwards. Beautiful, you guys. And then bend your elbows and come down. Take deeper breaths in and out. Okay, and then Natalie, you can switch at some point to crossing your legs, and you can also turn the bolster sideways. So you can come up from that pose, Natalie, and then you can go into this pose. So now your legs are crossed, and you turn the bolster sideways. The legs are crossed, and anyone else who'd rather do a restorative pose, because we're going to do a couple more backward bends. So if you'd rather just do restorative, then just do what I'm doing here. This is a great restorative pose. So you bring the bolster sideways, the legs across, and this comes right under your shoulder blades. And then you can have another blanket or pillow for your head, or even a blanket roll for under your neck. So this is called Supta Swastikasana with a horizontal bolster. So if you'd rather just go into that at this point, feel free. Otherwise, let's do Ustrasana together. So come on up. Okay, and then I want you to see what I'm doing. You can take some padding for your shin bones this way, but also notice what I'm doing. I'm taking the back edge of my mat and I'm rolling it so that this extra bit comes right at the top of my foot. You see that? So I have something to press down into. That's really important that you have that in this pose. So you're pressing down through the top of the foot. If you can't reach to your feet, of course, have something for your hands to come onto, even a chair. If you can't reach, you can even put a chair behind you if you can't reach. Otherwise, get ready. Make sure that your knees are hip distance apart and you're pressing the tops of your feet right under the ankles into that. You should feel really secure, reaching the toes backwards. Now, turn your inner arms to the outer arms like we did at the very beginning. Remember that? How we turned the palms forwards? We turn the palms forward. Roll your shoulders back and then reach your arms back and bring your tailbone forward and bring your hands down to your feet. But then move your middle buttocks forward again. Move the middle buttocks way forward. That's the way. Yes. Good. Bring the tailbone in. Press your hands down. Nice. And then press your shin bones down. Come up. And bring your legs together and sit down on your feet. Stay nice and tall. Jackie, watch that when you do the pose, your knees don't splay apart too much, okay? Very good. So let's do that. Once you've rested for a few breaths, let's do that again. So bring the tops of your feet onto that extra sticky mat roll. Make sure that your thighs are parallel to each other. Sometimes they tend to go into the A-frame. That's what happens for all of us, right? So don't let your legs go into the A-frame. Keep your thighs parallel. Okay? Bring your hands to the hips, press into that extra sticky mat with the tops of the feet, press the outer shins down. That's it, make sure the top of the buttocks is moving down, the middle buttocks is going forward. Now, stretch your arms down, turn your palms forwards, reach your arms back, bring your tailbone forward and come into the pose. And then once you're there, bring the middle buttocks further forward, middle buttocks further forward, and take the head back. And bring the shoulder blades in to the back ribs. Bring those shoulders, that's beautiful, that's it. So if you can bring your palms all the way down to the heels, go ahead and do it. That's it, good. And now press your shins down and come up. So Bob, you want to have your hands on something. So if you can't reach, put a bolster on top of your feet, or even bringing your hands back to a chair can also work. You can bring your hands back to a chair in this way. Okay, so let's try it one more time once you've rested, and then make sure that this isn't happening with the feet, because I think this might be happening for one or two of you. The feet start to get closer together. If you happen to have a brick there, you can put a brick in between your feet, which gives you some awareness of what your feet are doing in the pose. The feet become an abstraction sometimes because they're behind us, right? So you can put a brick there. So one last time, Ustrasana. Press the tops of your feet down into that extra sticky mat roll. That's it. Press those outer shins. Beautiful. Reach the toes backwards. Inner heels to the outer heels. Now bring your arms down. Turn your palms forward. And then bring your arms way back. Bring your tailbone forward. Reach back and take hold. Once you're there, press the outer shins down. Press the tops of your feet down. Now they make sure to switch the cross of your legs. And then lift your shoulder blades up into your back. Bring your hips further forward, Jackie. Further forward, all the way to the camera. That's the way, yes, excellent. Shoulder blades up, beautiful, Heidi. And then press your shins down and come up out of the pose. Good. Okay, now come onto your back with your bricks under your feet. And we'll do Chatushpadasana. So the bricks will come under the feet in this way. Make sure that your bricks are not unstable. If they're unstable, put your bricks against the wall. Now you can do this one with us if you'd like to. I'll leave it up to you. If you want to stay there, that's fine. Otherwise, you could do this one with us. Chatushpadasana. This is a restorative, well, an easier backward dip. So see how my feet are on those bricks. And then when I come up, I want my middle buttocks to come up. The back of my thigh has to come in. The middle of my buttocks has to come up. And then I interlace my fingers under me for Chatushpadasana with my feet on bricks. Okay, so let's give that a go. Get ready. If the bricks aren't working, you can put them against a wall, or you can just do it without the bricks. That's also fine. Okay, so get ready. Turn the tops of your arms outwards. And then lift your hips upwards. Lift the hips up. Very good. And then once you have the hips upwards, make sure that your feet are turned inwards a little bit. Interlace your fingers under you. And pull your arms down and lift your shoulder blades and your back ribs up. That's it. Keep pulling the hamstrings into the bottom buttocks, and then lift your tailbone to the ceiling. Excellent. Now separate your hands and come down. Those are pretty good. Bob, you could take your heels a little bit wider than your toes. Great. Okay, we'll do that again. So get ready, feet are on bricks, unless the bricks are unstable, and then lift up your hips. Turn the inner arms to the outer arms, get onto the outer shoulders, and then interlace your fingers the less habitual way under you, and pull the arms down, raise the shoulder blades up, and the back ribs up. Bring your hamstrings into your bottom buttocks. Lift your middle buttocks higher. Press down through that right inner foot, Bob. That right inner foot. Pull. That's it. Lift your chest. Great, you guys. Separate your hands and come down. Very good. Now take away the blocks, and we'll do it one more time without the support of the blocks, but you want to get that same lift. And some of you can either have your fingertips under your heels with your palms upwards, or some of you can hold on to the ankles. The classic pose is to hold on to the fronts of the ankles. That's it. Take your heels wider than your toes. Otherwise, fingertips are under the heels, or you can even hold on to the sides of the sticky mat, another option. So raise your hips upwards, raise the hips up. That's it. Pull your arms down, bring your outer shoulders down, lift your shoulder blades up. Try to get your breastbone to be straight up like a flagpole. Pull your hamstrings into the buttocks and lift your middle buttocks up, lift your tailbone up, and then lengthen your outer hips towards the outer knees. Very good, and then come down. Yeah, shorter holds is fine at this time, Natalie, completely fine. Okay, good. Deepen your breath. Okay, now reach for your belt and we'll do Supta Padangusthasana number 1. So put your belt on the bottom of your right foot. And Natalie, you're just gonna go straight out to number 2 with support of the bolster. Support of the bolster or even the wall is fine. The wall or the bolster. That would just go straight to number 2. So belt the ball mound of your right foot, stretch your left leg out, and we're doing Supta Padangusthasana number 1. So don't immediately go to pulling with your arms. Press your left leg down, reach from the left buttocks towards the left heel. Get the back of that left thigh closer to the floor, rolling the inner left leg down. And as you extend through your left inner heel, lift up through your chest. Yes, push your right thigh away from your right abdomen, making sure your outer right foot is in line with your outer right hip. Make sure that both of your legs are fully extended. Fully extended. And then some of you can start to pull the right foot closer in without crashing the right thigh onto the right abdomen. Keep extending the left leg out. Push the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Good. And now hold on to the belt, everybody, with the right hand close to the foot. Bring your left arm out to the side, in line with your left shoulder, and then take your right leg out to the side, nice and slowly, without tipping over. Good, that's it. Keeping your left outer thigh down, your left back waist down, your left arm reaching out. If you are tipping over, just bring your right elbow down to the floor. And extend through that right inner leg. Move your abdomen back to the left. See if you can lift your right leg a little bit more, Heidi. Lift the right leg up and bring your left back waist further down. Left back waist. There you go, yes. So there's less. Take the pelvis less with you, just take the leg. Beautiful. Deepen your breath. Now come back to the center and release that leg. Take a deep breath in and out, and then when you're ready, belt the left foot and take it up. Put the belt on the bottom of the left foot. Hold it with 2 hands, so your hands will be apart and the top of your chest is broadening, the collarbones reach out, but focus on your right leg. Extend the right buttocks to the right heel. Get the back of that right thigh down. Move your left thigh away from the left abdomen. So there should be like a gap, a space between the left thigh and the left abdomen. Push the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Now, some of you can inhale, and as you exhale, start to pull your left foot closer towards your face without letting your left thigh press into your left abdomen. So there's a resistance. And without letting your right thigh come up off the floor. Keep the right thigh down. Keep reaching through that right inner heel to infinity and lifting up your breastbone. Now, turn your arms in such a way that you still keep the remnant of the backward bend. Your back ribs are coming up. The back ribs are up into the body. Now hold on to the belt with your left hand close to the foot. Bring your right arm out to the side in line with your shoulder. Keep your outer right thigh down, your back right waist down, and then slowly take that left leg across the room to infinity. Without letting your pelvis, that's it, Heidi, without letting the pelvis be affected by the left leg. So push into the belt with that left big toe mound and extend beyond the left inner heel. Extend that left inner thigh. Draw your abdomen from the left side to the right side. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw, your tongue, your throat. Good, and then come back to the center and release that leg. Good, now raise your arms upwards over your head if there's room. You can just keep your feet apart, have your arms apart, about shoulder cap distance. Pull your fingernails away from your heels, pull your ankles away from your wrists, your thigh bones away from your upper arm bones. Elongate the sides of your trunk, and then inhale. As you exhale, bring both of your arms alongside your body, draw both knees into the chest, and wrap your arms around the legs. Feel free to have space in between the knees. Good. Keep the lower back down, abdomen down. Now bring your feet down, and we'll just take a little bit of a twist here. This is fine for you, Natalie. You can see how it feels, okay? So press your feet down, but shift your hips to the left edge of your mat. Shift your hips over to the left. That's it. Just your hips. Just your hips. Your feet stay in the center. That's it. Just shift your hips to the left. That's it. Now draw your knees way up into your chest and bring them over towards your right elbow, all the way to the floor, all the way to the floor. Bring your knees all the way up towards the right elbow. Yes. Draw your toes up to the knees. You can put your right hand on your top knee. And if your left shoulder comes way up, Bob, put your bolster under the bottom right knee. Put the bolster under the bottom right knee if you can't get that left shoulder down. That's it. And then keep that top knee pressing down, and then draw your abdomen back. Be very careful with that, Natalie, just nice and soft. But turn your abdomen from the right to the left. Keep reaching that left arm out to the side. So you're just releasing the back. Hopefully it feels good after the backward bends, but in case there's any tweaking, these twists, these gentle forward bends, relieve that. Very good. Come back to the center and we'll do the other side. So press your feet down and then shift your hips over to the right side of your mat. Yeah, if you need that support under the bottom knee, get that. And then bring your knees way up and bring your knees all the way up towards your left elbow. It's really high up because that stretches the back more, the fibers of the back. But bring your feet down. We're doing the passive version of the pose. Draw your toes up towards your knees. Put your left hand on your top knee. There you go. Draw the abdomen back. Inhale. And then as you exhale, turn from the left side to the, or from the right side now to the left side. Keep reaching that right arm across the room. Make sure that right shoulder is down. Keep using your inhalations to lift the breastbone up, and then exhalation, turn. Very good. Okay, and then come back to the center. Center your pelvis. Those of you who do shoulder stand, get ready for shoulder stand. And if you're not doing shoulder stand, you can put your legs up onto the wall with the bolster under your hips. Natalie, you're going to do Setu Bandha. So watch, I'll show you how to do it. So you have your 2 bricks for your feet, maybe at the medium height. You could even put, that's it, maybe at the medium height, so 2 bricks for your feet. And sometimes you have to come up and down a couple times. Anyone else who wants to do this, you can also do this. Otherwise, shoulder stand with a chair, without a chair. Otherwise, legs up the wall, Vikriti Karani. And then see if you have another blanket, just make the bolster a little bit higher by making the blanket into just a rectangle shape. Make sure that all of this, which is where your chest is going to go, is like a straight line. Okay, and then watch what I do. Like I said, you might have to come up and down a few times to get the right measurement. So I move my hips towards my feet, I lift my chest, and then I go back, and I want to bring my shoulders right to the floor. That's it, Setu Bandha, and then I just find those bricks. So I can move those bricks a little bit further forward so I can have room for my legs to extend. That's perfect for me now. That's the way. And then I just bring my arms here. And of course I would take off glasses, but you're not wearing glasses, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's the pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Good, shoulder standers, be up in your pose. Make sure that you're getting on the top of the shoulders, walk the hands down. And we did some, work with the shoulder blades and the tailbone today in our backward extensions. So see if you can bring the shoulder blades deeper into your back. See if you can bring your hands all the way down to the lower shoulder blades. And also bring your tailbone in. So those same elements. So the back body comes in so that the front body can open. And then bring your, just like we did for Ustrasana, bring the middle buttocks forward. Bring the middle buttocks forward. That's good, Natalie. That's great. Just make sure your shoulders are down on the floor. And if that, I don't know if your head is on the wood floor, but if it is, you could put something soft under there. That's it. So shoulders are all the way down. You should feel a nice lift of your chest. And you can also, if your lower back feels okay, you can take the feet off of the bricks. It's up to you. That's good, Heidi, but roll your legs in. That's it. Roll those legs in, Heidi. Bring your tailbone forward and keep reaching up through that left leg like you did in headstand. That's it. Good. Jackie, just stay up in the pose. Walk your hands further down. Jackie, bring your middle buttocks forward like Ustrasana. Lift your thighs up and off of your abdomen so your legs become, you can still see them, but they're not as visible, right? You're moving back with the legs, forward with the tailbone, forward with the shoulder blades, bringing your outer elbows down, pressing the upper arms down. That looks nice, Natalie. That looks like a good pose. Hope it feels good. Deepen your breath. Good. And just make sure that that tile isn't too much for your guys' heads. I don't want you to come down, Jackie and Bob, but just be aware if if it feels too hard for you. And then I can show you how you can just put your mats in the center of your mat and do it that way. Now, those of you in shoulder stand, just come into plow pose. Let's spend some time in plow pose after those backward bends. So feel free to keep your feet together. Otherwise, take your feet a little bit apart. Take your feet apart. Interlace your fingers and reach your knuckles away from your back body. And then walk your feet away from your hips on the floor or the chair. Good. So just have the feet either hip distance or all the way together. Keep lifting your thighs up. Lift the hips up away from the outer shoulders. So you're getting that length to come. Relax the jaw, the tongue, the throat. Now, those of you in plow pose, reverse the interlace of your fingers. Keep bringing the shoulder blades, even here, into your back. Deepen your breath. Good. Now, those of you in plow pose, bring your, undo your interlace, bring your arms into a cactus shape. So in other words, your shoulders are on the blankets, but your hands, back of your hands are on the floor. Backs of your hands are on the floor, just alongside your head. Backs of your hands are low. So your arms form like a goalpost, that's it, a shape. But your elbows and your shoulders are pretty much on the blankets. There you go. And you're just in a more passive halasana. And then you can bend your knees towards your ears for Konapidasana. Bring your knees towards your ears, move your buttocks towards just keep the tops of your feet on the chair. If you're using a chair there, Bob, that's it. And then you can also bring your arms now and rest them on the backs of your knees. Come onto the toenail sides of your feet. So hold on your forearms on the backs of your knees. There you go, that's it. Move your knees towards your ears and towards the blankets. Move your sitting bones towards your knees and draw your waist back and draw your breastbone back. Good. That may or may not work with the hands on the backs of the knees. You'll have to see. Otherwise, just keep your arms in that goalpost shape up. That's it. Okay, and then start to come down out of your pose, nice and slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Now, Natalie, bend your knees. Bring your feet wide apart. Bring your feet, hold on to the sides of the bolster, and then just push the bolster through, and then rest your legs on the bolster. That's the way. Great. So slowly come down. Those of you who did shoulder stands, slide your shoulders off of the blankets. Take as much time as you need. Bring your arms out to the sides. Okay, and then slowly get ready for Shavasana. Have some covering for your eyes. You want to have your body as flat as possible, unless you need some support under the thighs, or you would like some support over the thighs. If there's anything to cover your eyes with, do that. Yeah, you can keep your legs crossed like that, Natalie, or you can even stretch. You can turn the bolster sideways and just put the legs over the bolster. That's it. And then once you're down, take your legs a little bit wider than your hips and move the flesh of your buttocks away from your back ribs. Turn your arms and bring your arms out a little bit away from your ribs. And so bring your arms out so that your thumb fingernail gets closer to the floor. Let your fingertips just draw inwards towards the spine, or towards the palm of the hand rather. The fingertips just curl inwards like when you're sleeping. And now let loose your leg bones, the femur bones, let loose your arm bones. And then find again that lower abdomen that's behind your organs, and soften your organs back towards the back of your abdomen. Relax your lower jaw away from your upper jaw. And recede your eyes away from the lids. Relax deep inside the center of your eardrums. And soften and spread all of the skin on your face. Feel the element of the earth under you and release your body into the element of earth. But also find the element of space in your body, in between every cell of your body. Find that element of space inside your body. Give your body to the element of space. Bring your head to your heart. Relax your whole body from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. And release yourself from burden, from stress. Let loose and let go. Bring your hands to your body and deepen your breath. Bend your knees and roll to your side. And then slowly come up to sit, any position that feels good to you. Just take a few moments, a few breaths to integrate your practice and let it seep into your life where you need it the most. Remembering our yoga word for today, which was samskara, deep impressions, positive or negative, and how what results from that is clinging, attachment, or resistance. So learn to be with whatever comes up without clinging and without running. Bring your hands to your heart center, lift your chest upwards, bow your head downwards. Namaste. Peace and blessings to you all. Thank you so much for coming to the Friday class, and I will see you soon.